Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Auction for the Soul. This week's parshas, Perashat Emor, and it begins with God commanding Aaron and his children to maintain a level of holiness. And I want to skip through that this week, and I want to get into the meat and potatoes that are discussed later on in the week, where later on in the parsha, where it discusses the concept of time. Pasuk says, "Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael mat lehem moadei Hashem asher tikru'u otam mikroei kodesh el elehem moadei." Right? Pasuk begins by talking about this concept where God says to Moshe, it says, "Daber, speak to the Jewish people, tell them they should appoint for themselves a festival. They should do everything they can to create a time for them." That Asher Tikru Otam, that you are to proclaim them, Mikrei Kodesh, you are to proclaim them to be holy. Elohem Moadei, these are the holidays. And it starts listing the holidays. The first one is Sheish Yamim Ta'aseh Melacha, Ubiyom HaShvi'i, Shabbat Shabbatan. The first holiday is Shabbat. Okay? So you have this directive in the Pasuk itself, where God is making it very, very clear that you have a responsibility to proclaim the holidays, which is a strange verse. What do you mean you should proclaim it? Doesn't the holiday happen irrespective of my ability to go ahead and to proclaim anything? Hold on. Now, the flow of Jewish time is not a passive flow. We don't just count time, right? Time doesn't just fly by. We make time. And when we're talking about making time, what we're talking about is making time holy. That's what we're interested in, right? We're from Rabbi Hirsch, or Shem Shlomo Hirsch's perspective, he says time in the Torah is a vessel. Time is a kli through which moral and spiritual growth is cultivated through, right? That is what we want. Each particular holiday is a call to a particular kind of action, not just a date. We don't just celebrate things for the sake of celebrating. Each holiday is there, it's unique, because it is there to teach you about some other aspect of development and growth. So now, having said that, like when, most of the times we talk about holidays, as an American, I grew up celebrating the 4th of July. And while I love fireworks, and I love watching all those beautiful colors blow up in the sky and so on and so forth, that's not what Jewish time is. Jewish time is different, okay? So time is seen as, like, if we think about Shabbat, right? This is a great example. Shabbat is a holiday. Torah says it right afterwards, right? 6 days you shall do your work. On the 7th day, Shabbat Shabbaton, have a mega Shabbat. Mikrei Kodesh, it's considered to be holy. All the work that you do, Kol Melacha Lo Tasu, no work. Shabbat Yid Hashem, B'chol Moshvotechem, and everything that you do. B'chol Moshvotechem means even your servants, even the people that are working for you. This becomes a big issue. If we have robots, if we have the Optimus Tesla bots in our house, it's actually not so simple. You could actually use it on Shabbat because it says B'chol Moshvotechem in all of your dwelling places. And at some time later, I'll do a whole series on technology and Shabbat and what the issues and the challenges are, and if there are any workarounds for it. But over here, getting back to the concept of time, modern culture views time as linear. Each moment is new and it is completely disconnected from its path. Jewish time is a spiral. Okay, we return to each point over and over and over again, spiraling through it, and each time is though an opportunity to delve deeper, to get a deeper insight and elevation through that particular time. So Jews don't live by clock time, right? We live by time that is connected to our relationship to God. Our time is reflective in our deep desire that while it's true we're here to work, it's true we're here to go ahead and enjoy the world, but we also have to create a space where we're thinking about how do we elevate the time that you and I have here. We're not talking about historical commemorations like the 4th of July. These are spiritual landmarks. These are spiritual concepts that we keep connecting with over and over again throughout our life in this world, because each time we're there, it's about growth. This time period right now, the Omer, is a time period about developing a level of trust and faith. It's about preparing yourself for Matan Torah, for the receiving of the Torah, Shavuot, the weeks that lead up to it, because there's a process. The Torah is constantly reminding us of this process and understands that time is a special lesson that we learn each year through a specific holiday. Okay, now, so it makes this concept of asher tikru otam, this concept of proclaiming the holiday, right? It's not like the commemoration, we're proclaiming it. Torah says the festivals are very much, the holidays are dependent on human declaration. Okay, that's a very radical idea, that sanctity, that kedusha, that holiness is co-created. It's not that we're just bumping into that marker in time, but we have to go ahead and delineate and say, this is the time that this holiday is happening. So we take an active role in bringing holiness into the world. And that's powerful. Meaning it says, Asher tikru otam. We're going to go ahead and designate this time holy. So there's time, space-time, and then there's this concept of sanctifying time. God sanctifies the space. He gave us the parameters, and we are here to sanctify time. So therefore, when we think about the calendar as Jews, we are the spiritual partners between heaven and earth, between God and man. We're the ones that bring this concept down. It becomes holy through our actions, through our declaration, but more importantly, through our conscious awareness. When we are aware, hey, it's Shabbat, right? There are all these laws on Shabbat. Let's say, just so you know, I made this bracha earlier. I just haven't had my coffee yet. It's slowly seeping in. When we are on the laws of Shabbat, let's say you know that it's prohibited for you to go ahead and pick a fruit on Shabbat. Whatever fruits you want to eat, you got to pick it before Shabbat. Okay, so say you have a vineyard, and you were having intention of picking a green grape, and you accidentally pulled off a red grape. You didn't. The prohibition is not the same, because there's no intention. Intentionality in Judaism is everything. You have to be consciously aware of what it is that you're doing. So over here you have a situation where you have a holiday that, for us, holidays just happen. July 4th happens irrespective of me making that declaration. But in Judaism, in order for you to tap into the power of the holiday, there has to be a conscious awareness of it. This is why the halacha is, the Jewish law states that 30 days before a holiday, you need to prepare. You have to go through all the laws. You have to be aware what's happening. How are you preparing for it? Passover, you just can't show up. Like on the 4th of July, I go to the store, I buy myself my hamburgers and my hot dogs, and I throw on the grill and I'm good. I got to take out all my dishes. There's all this prep work that goes in. Same in Sukkot. All of our holidays, even Shabbat, there's so much prep work that has to happen because there's no movement on the actual day itself. That's how I completely let go. Shabbat is fixed, okay? Every 7 day, regardless of the calendar, it's divine time. It's representing God's creation. But the holidays, that depends on the Jewish court, the Sanhedrin. They make the declaration on the new moon. That is human time. That represents our responsibility to infuse life with meaning, not just to allow time to happen, the monotonous, the drum of the beat of time moving forward through and through. How are we involved, engaged in elevating that time? The revolution of Judaism is that time itself can be made holy. Time becomes the structure for meaning. Now, Shabbat is the anchor, and the holidays are refined expressions of the ethical mission of the Jewish people. Each one refines a different human activity. We're talking about, for Pesach, we're talking about freedom. Okay? For the Omer, we're talking about gratitude. We have Simchat Torah, joy. We have a renewal, Rosh Hashanah. We have awe, Yom Kippur. All these ideas are part of our ethical mission and using time to develop a greater sense of self and spiritual development. So each festival, each holiday isn't just commemorative. It's a call to cultivate a specific trait. Think about it. Pesach is about cultivating moral freedom, recognizing the dignity of every single human soul. Each person, irrespective of their background, they're going through pain. We have to be sensitive to that. Shavuot, intellectual elevation, right? Accepting the God, the responsibility of God's wisdom in this world, and then living out with those mitzvot and so on and so forth. Rosh Hashanah, moral accountability. Was I a good person? And I'm embracing human responsibility. Yom Kippur, spiritual purification, returning to the inner truth. What is my mission here? Am I really staying? Am I clear? Am I keeping focus on what I'm supposed to accomplish? Sukkot, gratitude, vulnerability, simcha, rooted in trust, not control. These are ideas of like, these are spiritual energy points that we constantly go through. We're flowing through over and over again. So when we talk about time, right, and I think this is the secret to Jewish time, is that, like I remember when I was becoming more observant, I'm like, how am I going to work? I got to go to synagogue in the morning. I'm spending an hour before breakfast. And then I got to take like a 30-minute break in the afternoon for mincha. And then before I come home, I got to spend another 20 minutes in synagogue. That's almost like 2 hours a day, not including the learning, not including all the little things I got to do. How am I financially going to get ahead? It's impossible, right? And what Judaism teaches us, that time isn't measured by the passing of hours, but it's about the sanctification of moments. And when we're able to sanctify those moments, somehow something crazy happens. I can spend less time during the day on my work, and somehow I get more done. So holiness in time is there to shape our values, not our schedules. Holiness in time is there for us to say, you know what? I could be running around all day doing 1,000 things, trying to make a quick buck. But at the end of the day, does that make me into a better person? Where do I create space in my day to ask that question? So the secret of Jewish time is that it doesn't pass by, it shapes who we become. We don't live in time, we use time to build meaning, growth, and connection with Hashem. That is the secret sauce to Jewish time. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Ready? Which Jewish holiday do you most feel in your life? Which Jewish holiday, what part of that particular holiday awakens something within you? Because if the answer is nothing, there's something wrong. How do we create meaning for our children, by the way? That's, I think, what all of this is about, is creating meaning. If our children don't participate in the process of creating a Shabbat or a holiday, they're never going to experience the holiday itself. They could learn about it, but they won't feel a connection to it. Remember that love is created and generated through the things that we give to. The word ahava in Hebrew, right, comes from the word hav. The more we teach our children to provide and give, the more we get them involved in the process of creating, cleaning up the tables, preparing the dishes, setting up something, drawing something even for the holiday, and hanging it up. There's not going to be any connection. This is why I find so many young Jewish kids today so disconnect from their holidays. They don't know how to prepare for it. The parents don't create any space for them. Now, let me ask you, we'll end with the following question. What's one way you can make time holy in your regular week? Not just on the holidays. What's something you can do daily to bring Kedusha into your lives? I'm confident if you could answer that question, you'll be living a life of more meaning, of more greatness, and most importantly, be living a life with more miracles around it. May we have the merit of elevating every moment of our time where we're able to utilize it so that we can express the best parts of who we are, teaching our families, our friends, our community, that the way in which we develop the future is through a life of growth and development, not frivolously wasting our time, but meticulously elevating it and using it to become something more. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Thank you so much for listening.